Hello and welcome, YouTube. This is Framinthor. I want to apologize beforehand, but I do have a congested nose, so I have to deal with it, and so will you. Anyways, I saw a post by Blizzard, and honestly I saw it through a different video by acquisition about what Blizzard thinks about the 9.2 second legendary acquisition and basically how they're gonna go about it. And I want to talk about it. I didn't read the whole post yet, I got the gist of it. So I'm gonna read it here and give my comments. All right, boom, let's start. So, hello all. Now, first thing I actually want to say is thank you Blizzard for actually responding, and because they're not known for being very communicative, let's just say it like that. That's a good thing that at least they are acknowledging the feedback. Anyways. Hello all, thanks for everyone's feedback on the enlightened legendary belts and memories, and on the issue of when you can obtain them and what activities they require. Shouldn't require anything really, like something minor or whatever. We have some changes coming to a future PTR build that I'd like to talk about a bit. First, what are we doing? The Belt of Unity is moving from the enlightened reputation and into the campaign quests for Zereth Mortis. A better step in a sense, because at least you don't have to grind rep if you don't want to. But we'll see. You'll be able to obtain it at the end of chapter 7 of the Zereth Mortis campaign, which we hope will feel like a nice crowning accomplishment. From what I understand, chapter 7 is 5 weeks since the release, so it's just time gated for no reason. The memory of Unity is remaining on the enlightened reputation vendor, and will remain an account-wide unlock like other legendary memories from Shadowlands, which is fine, but will now additionally require that you have completed chapter 7 in order to purchase it. Great, so you have to do chapter 7 on every alt, I guess. Wait, let me read it again. It's remaining on the enlightened reputation vendor and will remain an account-wide unlock like other legendary memories from Shadowlands, but will now additionally require that you have completed chapter 7 in order to purchase it. So unless this means that every character has to do chapter 7, that is pretty much what it means. This is a horrible idea. This merely means that when your 2nd, 3rd, or 10th character is ready to start Eternity's End, that they'll be able to craft an enlightened legendary right away. Am I not reading this right? The new questing requirement is being added to head off any feeling of needing to rush ahead to Revered for progression on your main character. We're also still debating some other possible changes to the overall structure of Zereth Mortis rewards, but I don't have concrete details to share on those yet. Okay, I think I understand, but just in case I don't, I will talk about both of the scenarios. Assuming that once you unlock the legendary, all characters can buy it, buy the whatever memory and craft it. If we are assuming that, that's fine-ish. Regardless of all of that, being locked behind chapter 7, which again, I'm not gonna play 9.2 because like Blizzard lost me as a customer in 9.1. But the problem here is, as far as I know, the chapters take maybe like 20-30 minutes each. That means that they're time gating the quests, the story, up to chapter 7, which, as far as I understood, is 5 weeks, for no real reason. The normal and heroic raids come out on the 2nd week, I believe. And only the first half. Then the 3rd week it's mythic plus the 2nd half in normal and heroic. Then 4th week everything's already opened, and then the 5th week you can get the belt. So it means people who are progging on week 3 and week 4 just have a massive disadvantage. So I'm assuming what they want to do is, aside from like the obvious, well, it's 5 weeks, you're gonna have to pay for a new sub. What they want to do is they want to nerf the raid by giving you an exponential power boost without actually nerfing the rate. I guess that's the goal. Okay. And yeah, and the other one is that every character has to do chapter 7. If, let's say, every alt has to do chapter 7 in order to unlock it, horrible idea. Absolutely no reason to. Once you do the story in one character, just fucking unlock it for everyone. It's honestly like there's no reason to. It's just one more thing for you to do. Imagine this: you're creating an alt character. Your main, let's say, is clearing Mythic plus 20s. You did the whole story. You did the whole story, all 4 covenants. You did everything you can. You are renowned 80. You are doing Mythic prog. You make a new character. Not only do you have to start doing all of the gearing process, because the catch-up gear is pretty trash compared to current gear. So in order for your character to be anywhere near your main character that already did everything, you not only have to do the gearing, you have to do the renown, right? You have to do the story for each covenant. And now you also have to do the story for, I'm assuming, Korthia, and for this as well. If you don't have to do Korthia, I mean, great, but you're still gonna have to do this for no reason. You already did the story. It's not like it's gonna reveal anything new to you. It doesn't make any sense. Gameplay-wise. Story-wise, like, oh, it's a different character, then he has to do everything. Again, should work that way in WoW, but not happy about that. Anyways, some folks have asked why there's a delay in acquiring a second legendary at all. That's true. Why is there a delay? No, I mean, a delay is fine if it makes sense. The 5 weeks in doesn't make sense. Having it at chapter 7 doesn't make sense. Again, they will make it make sense in the story, but also the whole story doesn't make sense for you to wait that many weeks. Even if you look at Covenant stories, there's absolutely no reason for the delays that it had in 9.0. Some of the stories were like, okay, well, these guys attacked us, we're gonna launch an assault. Takes a whole week, a reset. We launch the assault. Okay, finish the assault. Alright, we need to do this, but we'll start it next week. Why? Just do the whole story in one go. Who cares? Just let people play the game. Like, why are you time gating the story? It doesn't make any sense, especially when it doesn't make any sense. Some stuff sometimes made sense. Even like, let's say, Legion Fall, I think, like the Legion time gating when on the Tomb of Sargeras Island. Some of the stuff there kind of made sense. You need to wait for a construction, you need to wait for this, whatever. But a lot of them did make any sense. Like, okay, this week you did this. Next week, Khadgar discovers I need 9,999 of this shard, and then you give it. It's like, oh, actually, I only needed 1, and you took it, and like literally, you farmed it the whole week, and it's like, well, I only need 1. You can keep the rest. What a waste of a week, you know? It's like, why? And then you have it the next week. It's like the continuation of that story. It makes no sense. Like, it didn't need to wait a week. It was pretty much instant. Oh my god. It's not like if you finish the story on Monday evening, you can do it on Tuesday morning. So it's not like there's actually like a week that needs to go on by in game, which is, I'm not saying there should be. I'm just saying if there isn't, why there are people who are doing it on a Tuesday have to wait a week, and why people who are doing it on Monday have to wait a day? Right? Again, just story-wise, I know why they're doing it for the reset. I'm just saying story-wise, it won't make any sense. It will be the same BS, right? Anyways, so some folks have asked why there's a delay in acquiring a second legendary at all. The answer there is that we have goals for your characters to grow over the course of the patch. Yes, it's called Mythic Plus and Mythic Rating or Heroic Rating, whatever your progress is. You're gonna progress regardless. You're gonna have to do those content to get stronger. The legendary belt is just another tool, but you don't have to, you don't have to have that, like, to have the tool time gated. You can gear up and advance any other way. Every time there's a patch, the item level, like the max item level, increases substantially, like by like 30 points or something. The belt is just like another one of those. Like, there's no reason to time get the belt. You can get all that gear. It's gonna take you a few weeks anyways. Best in slot gear from Mythic Plus is gonna come from your weekly chest, which is RNG, which is another different problem altogether, right? It's like, you already time gated enough. You don't need to time get a belt. And also, imagine this. Imagine your vault is gonna contain belts when you know that there's a legendary belt that is definitely your best in slot regardless. Like, imagine that scenario happening. You're doing all your Mythic Pluses, and 2 of the options is a belt, and 1 of them is gonna be something that you don't need. It's like, great, there goes the whole week, right? Like, they better remove belts from weekly chests, because like for Mythic Plus drops, there's no reason for a belt if you know belt is going to be your best slot because of a legendary. Okay, one specific example here is the difficulty on Sepulchre of the first ones by keeping the wait, did I skip something? No, okay. By keeping the Enlightened Legendary a little bit in the future from the raid's launch, we can tune the raid at a difficulty that allows early progression to be bolstered by additional power once players start hitting stumbling blocks. Sounds good on paper. Everyone knows that. Everyone who's been playing WoW for a while knows this is not the case. World firsters know this is the best. They literally gonna tune some bosses because some bosses are gonna have bugs. They're gonna be overtuned, too much damage, too much HP. Mechanics are not gonna work properly. Everyone knows this is gonna happen. They're gonna be tuning it way before the belt even comes into play. And the ones who are going to suffer are people who are progressing very early into the raid and very far into the raid. That's usually what happens. Come to expect it at this point, and it is what it is. But tuning the raid difficulty at a later time. See, here's another thing. We can tune the raid at a difficulty that allows early progression to be bolstered by additional power. You do not need to tune the raid once it's out. Expecting yourself to already tune the raid means you don't test it enough. Play your game, please. Play your game. Do the raids. Have a dedicated raid, I don't know, encounter testing team, whatever, that will test if the difficulty is even possible. Right? Like, like, what can you even say about this? They expect to tune the raid while after it's released. That's what the PTR is for. Other games don't even have a PTR, and they release a pretty balanced raid tier. Sometimes a bit weak, but then they just adjust on the next one. Sometimes it's a bit too strong, and yeah, sure, maybe, but like, they don't expect to tune it after the release. At least, like, not publicly at least, and as far as I know, some games don't even tune it. It's like this, it is what it is. Unless something is bugged or something, they don't do anything with the raid. Oh lordy. Okay. If this power was instead available to your characters on the first day, tuning would have to take that into account for people who expect the first few weeks to be challenging. Why wouldn't it be? You're still under geared though. Your item level is still from the previous tier. It should still be challenging because you're under geared. Even if you get the belt, you're still under geared. It doesn't matter. I think the belt is on like 2 to 5% more power as far as I understand. Like, it's not like the make or break. And obviously 5% is going to be way bigger numbers when your whole item level is higher, right? 5% of 100 is 5, but 5% of 200 is 10, you know? So it's like, if you're doing substantially more damage, the 5% will account for a lot more. So like, even this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Oh my god, like, I don't know if they know what they're talking about. It's important to us that there's a pretty level. It's important to us that there's pretty level playing field with the Enlightened Legendary in terms of when different players obtain it. We want to be an impactful moment of growth for a character. Meaningful choices, impactful moment. It can be an impactful moment the second you get it. Doesn't matter. Do it on Mythic Week release. Do it on the release of the Mythic tier. You will see the level growth. Just by your DPS meters, you will see your level growth. Impactful, Jesus Christ. Getting to change the rules of how they play the game for the rest of eternity's end. they're gonna play it the exact same. The belt doesn't do that much. Our initial plans of putting it on the Enlightened reputation had this intent. In what we were planning to distribute most of the reputation gains on campaign quests and on quests that players would do once or twice a week. So you wanted to force the players to do a certain, like to do certain content in order to get power, even if the content wasn't really enjoyable, is what you're saying. And I'm not saying the rep grind whatever would not be enjoyable. I'm just saying irrelevant if it would be pleasure, like it would be fun to do or not. It doesn't matter. Like there was player power, so you're like, okay, well, maybe like we don't want to do that. Like, okay, thank you. Okay. Most to do. But we hear you that the structure still felt unsatisfying for players whose free time lends itself more to periodic long sessions than for frequent shorter ones. Honestly, it doesn't matter. If you have less time, if you have more time, if people want to grind for a power boost, they should be able to grind for a power boost. But they shouldn't be forced to do a certain grind. Like, how do I explain this? Like, let's say it was locked behind a reputation gain, okay, which I'm not saying it should. But let's say it stayed locked behind reputation gain. What would happen is you would have the weekly ones that give you like the massive reputation boost. But then you would have other stuff you could do for small reputation gains that technically, if you really wanted to, in the first week you could get the revered rep and be able to get the belt. Because let's be real, the top players, like the top 1%ers or whatever, they have all the time in the world and they're gonna do it. The guys who are more casual, this shouldn't matter to them too much. I'm not saying this is a good system, but this is a better system than forcefully time gating it. Even before, like when it was just rep and would still take you 5 weeks or 6 weeks, it was still a bad system, right? Like if you can make it grindable, if you can make grindable and achievable within the first week, I would rather take that over not grindable and just time gated forcefully. But I would, in my opinion, it should just be, hey, you came to Zenith Mornings, this is where we create stuff. Let me give you an example. This is something that we can easily create, but your feeble body can only handle one at a time. So here you go. Look at this cool belt that we can make. Boom, legendary belt. It doesn't have to be complicated, like it doesn't matter, right? It's like this is the place where everything's being created, right? I'm not saying you should just gift items, but you know, have them do a little quest for it, a story, something, but time gating is not the answer. You can make it like through other means, but time gating is not the answer. Make it through stuff you can get. Like you need to gather some materials, and you can get the materials from PvP, from dungeons, from world quests, and from raid. The harder the content, the more chance you have of it dropping. Something like that, you know? Like, you need to gather 5 mats for this, and we're gonna give you this belt. Boom, done. Do whatever content you want, and you have a chance to get the mat, and you can go and craft it. And then, if you're a grinder, you can, let's say the first one, you have a weekly that can give you like 1 instantly or a daily, and the other ones, you're just gonna have to rely on your RNG, right? Just an example. I don't know. But like, make it accessible. Like, it's not complicated. Make it accessible, especially like a power boost like that. You know, something that is gonna be mandatory. It's gonna be one of your slots 100% of the time. Just stop time gating it. It's like, imagine Mythic Plus. Let's say your best in slot trinket from the other side was time gated, so you would be able to do Mythic plus the other side. Let's make you do a 15, and then if you didn't get the trinket, well, tough titty. Good luck next week, right? But it's guaranteed in 5 weeks you're gonna get the trinket. Instead, you can just grind it out. Just keep doing the other side until you get the freaking trinket, which is what people are doing. Like, I don't know why this can't be grindable. It doesn't make sense. Okay, where was I? Blah blah blah. Short one, long sessions. Then okay. We feel that moving the Enlightened Legendary into the quest campaign will be even more egalitarian while still providing a very you can't tell people what is going to be a satisfying growth moment. For some will be like, okay, finally I'm done with this bullshit. As always, we're still open to and listening to feedback here, so once the changes go up, please do continue to tell us how you feel about them. I mean, you don't need to have the changes go up. This is the thing. It's like, why do you need people to test it to understand that having it behind a 5-week wall, which, by the way, will have to force you to resub, and let's be real, that's most likely why they're doing it. Doesn't have anything to do with like satisfying growth moment, or where is it? Where was it? Impactful something. Can't find it. Whatever. Here we go. Impactful moment of growth. Dude, like, no one cares. Like, this is not gonna be that amazing. It's like, cool, I got the second legendary, I can do more damage. Right? It's like, everyone who's playing the PTR and testing them is not gonna care about it in life. In the live servers, they're gonna be like, finally I got it. I'm done with this bullshit. Right? People will care about the like certain mount grinds, maybe. They would care about flying, I guess. Even though that's a whole other can of worms that I don't want to get into. Good to hear, thanks for listening. And good to hear and thanks for listening is fine. A fair compromise. How is this a fair compromise? This is not a fair compromise, dude. Like, the copium. Moving into campaign completion allows for an even playing field while leaving the belt as a non-required, yet account-bound option feels good. It is. What do you mean it's not required? It is pretty much going to be required. It's like saying legendaries are not required to play the game. Yeah, they're not required. No one's going to invite you to anything, and no one's going to invite you for not having the belt. Yeah, it is a requirement at this point. Oh my god. Start the chapters week by week. What do you think? Of course. The change itself sounds good. It's the same shit. It's just you're not going to have to grind rep, but it's the same shit. Assuming it's the same as Scortia as we expect. 1 to 3 is release week. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they announced that normal and heroic would be week 2 and week 3 is mythic. If this is the timeline, I don't mind it as much. If mythic week 1 is week 5, that it's not as big of a deal. But it should still probably be around the 1 to 3 release week before the raids come out. They want you to play the game. This response to me feels like you could translate, we want you to play the game we want and go at the pace we want and grow in power at the rate we want. And if we're being honest, that has been the entire fundamental problem of all of Shaolins. 100%. This is pretty much what it is. Not even Shaolins. Since Legion and since BFA as well, this has been a problem. This has always been a problem. And this will continue being a problem because people like this, where is he? A fair compromise, don't understand the main problem of this issue. They just don't get it. Oh my god. Oh man. Can't with these players, they're so dumb. this change helps no one. I'll tell you now. This change, sorry, not even the change helps, obviously. This decision helps no one. This whole, we're just gonna make it behind in there. Chapter 7. This decision helps no one except for Blizzard to make money. If this was done in chapter 1 or like week 1, you could have accomplished this in week 1. A lot of people would not resub for the second month, and that's pretty much what it is. They're like, oh well, I finished the game, I'm gonna do my LFR, my normal, and yeah, that's it, I'm done. And they're not gonna continue. But the thing is, if people were gonna continue, they're gonna continue anyway. So like putting it on week 5 is just literally forcing a few more players to sub for the next month, and that's it. There's absolutely no reason to do it. It's just bad game design overall. Just super bad game design. I'm so glad I'm not playing this game anymore. Like, the more I read about it, the less inclined I am. I get the itch to sometimes play some WoW, and then I'm like, yo, I need to do all of this shit. I'm out, and I'm staying out. And 10.0 will try to drag me back in, but we'll see. I highly doubt 10.0 is going to be any different, because their design philosophies are still the same. The design philosophy of time gating is still the same. The design philosophy on gear is still the same. They removed Titan Forging and War Forging. They increased the RNG. The Vault is fucking dog shit. It's like, oh well, you can have 9 choices. Yes, but I want choices that I didn't get last week. I don't want to keep getting the boots and the wrists and the belt that I keep getting every freaking week. There's no what do you call it? There's no like a safety in a sense for the loot that you get. It's not like, well, last week you got the wrist that you wanted. Maybe this week I can choose to not get wrists. Let's say I'm trying to aim for boots. So I can throw in some valor points or whatever into the vault to increase my chances of getting a certain category of gear. Like, I only want to get boots, chests, and wrists. I can throw valor points at those to increase the chances, to pretty much guarantee that it's gonna be boots, chest, and I don't know, whatever, belt, whatever, I don't know, and gloves. Right? It's like this whole game design is bad. It's not for the player. This game design is not for the player, it's for the developer. The developers are not playing their own game, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just like, what can we need engagement metrics, and that's all that matters to them. Rant is over. I am more disappointed than I thought I would be. And I didn't come with high expectations. How's the saying go? I had... Oh no, I don't even know how that saying goes. Something about expectations and my day is ruined. But that's pretty much it. My day is not ruined, but my expectations for Blizzard just went even lower than I thought possible. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, or whatever they say here on YouTube if you have a different opinion. And thank you for watching. Bye.